Grand rising, my people. Grand rising, my people. It's not gonna be a long video today, I can promise you that. But I just wanted to chime in on you and get straight to it. I'm not waiting for nobody to come in. You want to see the intro, you got to go back and look. Just wanted to let y'all know, man, it's not over with yet. It is not over with yet, baby. These spirits are still around, and they still alive, and they still working. Just because the Christmas holiday is over with doesn't mean that this right here, everything just went away. It doesn't mean that. You probably got away with the biggest end of it as of now, but we still got some more hurdles to go. I'm gonna let you know that right now. There's more hurdles to hop. That's right. There's more hurdles to hop. We still got New Year's coming around, okay? But before the New Year, have you been paying attention to your energy? You know, have you been paying attention to your energy? I've been paying attention to mine, and you know, I've been pretty all right for the biggest end. You know what I'm saying? I've been holding up pretty well for the biggest end. I felt it this morning. It felt like it was about to come, and like I said, I was able to navigate around that right there. I felt it coming this morning, and again, I had a spirit guide that was right there. Hey, there you go. You've been doing good. Let's keep it that way, you know. So I kind of, you know, held it together. You know what I'm saying? Didn't bring the house down, okay? But I'm gonna let y'all know that it's not over with yet. It's not over with. You still gonna have some hurdles in there to jump over. I ain't gonna play no roles. Now, when I ask have you been paying attention? When I say paying attention, I'm talking about paying attention to what's going on around you and what's going on in the inside of you. And let me explain to you the importance of that. The importance of paying attention to what's going on within you is because you want to pay attention to your energy, okay? And the reason why you want to pay attention to your energy this time of year is because you don't know if that's going to be a bad spirit or good spirit coming in. You don't know if it's your child. You don't know what it is, right? So you're going to pay attention to your energy because your energy is going to allow you to know or feel what that is. Now, you're going to pay attention to what's going on around you because what's going on around you is going to confirm what your energy feels, okay? That's how that worked for me anyway. That's how that worked for me. So depending on where my energy is, lets me know once I pay attention to what's going on around where my energy is going to confirm whatever it was that I was feeling anyway. So I'm going to give you an example of how that right there will look. Let's just say, for instance, because this part of the work you got to do. Let's just say, for instance, you wanted to, your energy was feeling like really high. Or let's just say it could have been feeling really low. And let's just say, for instance, that you was thinking about your child, right? And whatever way that energy made you feel, whether it was high or low, just think about this for a minute. You was thinking about your child. Now, that what happened in the inside. That's what happened in the inside of you, okay? That was your energy in the inside. You felt like you was thinking about your child and everything. Now, I'm going to tell you what's going to confirm that. Something on the outside is going to confirm that. That's the reason why I be so hell-bent on, and I keep on saying this, and I won't stop saying it. I'm going to let y'all know that right now. I won't stop saying it. You got to pay attention to your energy because it's too many of us right now that's in this position right here, man. We keep on focusing on our child, man. That's done. That's done. I hate to break it to you that way, and you know, but that's the way it was broke to me. That was the way it was broke to me. Anything that I say, anything that I can say to y'all that sound harsh, that's the way that the message came to me, okay? That's the way that the message came to me. There's not me, you know, telling y'all that to be mean or anything. So I want to get that clear to you right now. I just got to tell you the honest truth and how it come to me. But like I said, you gotta stop thinking about your child for a minute. Because now is a time where you need to pay attention to your energy the most. This right here is the reason why, in my opinion, I believe my child, one of the reasons why I believe my son probably crossed over the way he did, because I will have to focus if I'm focused on him, I will have to focus on the way that I can see him. And that right there will be through energy. You know what I'm saying? Let me give y'all an example of, you know what I'm saying, of what I mean. See, some of us think that because our child is physically gone, that child is no longer with us. And I had to learn that. It took a long time for me to sink this through my head, because it wasn't making no sense to me at first, man. You can't tell me that if I can't see my child, that he's still with me. That just didn't make no sense. And not only did it not make no sense, I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it. Don't tell me if I can't see him, he's not here. That's just the bottom line to it. But after doing some work, and you start to work on your spirit and your energy, and you get some of this crap out your system, you start to see it a little different, okay? So look at it like this right here. Let's just say, for instance, you had cash. Let's say you had $100 cash, right? You got $100 cash, and I take that $100 and I transfer it into Cash App. Now, physically, you don't have that cash. You can't see it no more. But is the cash still there? It's in Cash App. See, you don't physically see the money no more. Doesn't mean that it's still not there. So with that analogy right there, I would use that right there as a token, you know, to hold, you know, as an analogy to, you know, about this passing thing. Just because your child isn't physically there does not mean that they are not there. You see what I'm saying? And that right there was an analogy I like to use, you know, and hey, you probably find something a little better, but that's pretty much, you know, the way I see it. You know what I mean? So when you paying attention to the outside, what's going to confirm it, like I said, is going to be the way that you hear some people talk. Some people might say something that's not related to you. You know what I'm saying? They're going to say something that's going to touch on what you were thinking. You're going to hear something that touch on what you were thinking. Like, for instance, if you're thinking about your child or your mother or your father or something like that, somebody that done passed that was in that family tree. I'm not going to go as far as aunties and uncles and all that other stuff. I'm not going to do all that, and best friends, and I'm not going to do all that. That's going to be up to you to decipher. But whoever you was thinking about in that moment, let's just say, for instance, you was listening to the radio and their favorite song came on. You know that they're around. That's how you confirm that. You got to confirm it by what you know of them. Something about them is going to happen around you that's going to confirm whatever it was that you was thinking. And you need to pay attention to that, because a lot of people might write that off. When you sitting up there thinking about your loved one and stuff like that, and you would hear, in some cases, if you're really good, you can really smell them. You can smell the scent from them. I'm telling you, you can smell them. You can feel them. It's going to be certain fragrance, and it ain't going to be nothing in the way. Ain't going to be nothing in the way. You ain't going to spray nothing. You know what I'm saying? But you going to smell them. You going to feel them. That's what you got to pay attention to. You walk somewhere and you're like, man, that smells just like such and such. That remind me, you're going to have certain things that's going to remind you of that person. Whatever it was that reminds you of that person, you have to zero in on this right here now. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're going to zero in on this stuff right here. But it's going to require you to have some type of full attention, man. That's why I said you got to take your focus off your child for a minute, because your child was just a gateway to get you to start thinking like this right here. For me, it was my gateway to start to get me to start thinking like this right here, because had he not crossed over and passed like this, I was already working on spirituality and stuff like that. Don't get it twisted. But this right here is like really, it put the learning on boost mode or something, man. I'm telling you, because had I not experienced this right here, then a lot of this stuff, I don't know where I'd be at. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, I don't know where. To be honest, I do not know where I would be at if I didn't have to go down this path. I'd probably still be working. I'd probably still be in La La Land, somewhat partially in La La Land. You know what I'm saying? It just forced me to learn a lot. It forced me to learn a lot. You know what I'm saying? And then especially, like I said, you got kids behind that right there. You got to pay attention to them as well, man. I pay attention to my daughter, man. This girl done, she's stressed out, believe it or not, man. And I didn't think this right here because she was so young. My daughter was so young. She was 5 when this happened. And she was 5 when this happened. She's 6 now. And between the time that this right here happens, see, stress comes in different ways. You know, for us, it ain't just walking around the house, you know, with a long face and not knowing how to move and all this other stuff. My daughter has had breakdowns at times, you know what I'm saying, about her brother. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I'm not saying write it off, but we don't give it as much attention, you know what I'm saying, as we should, because we so hung in grief. That's why you pay attention to what's going on around you. You know what I'm saying? We so hung in grief that we can't really picture and see what's going on with the rest of the kids because you still trying to get yourself together. This right here is one of the things that happens, man, when you're going through this right here. That's one of the things that come as a result of you going through what you're going through, okay? That's just bottom line to it. That's just how it happened, okay? So now you start paying attention. You notice that, man, the child is stressing. And what are some of the stress things that they do? Hey, they eat more. You know what I'm saying? They start doing things backwards. Maybe they don't say the things that they used to say. Maybe some of the things that they forget, for real. And you can't write this stuff off, man. You can't write it off. For a minute, I wrote it off for a minute because eventually my daughter turned back into being a kid again after so long. You know what I'm saying? And she just didn't understand it like that, which may be a good thing because her energy is radiant as well. So you can latch on to her energy and it can help pull you out the slump. You know, typically that's what the younger kids do. That's, you know, they energy will pull your behind up out the slump. You know, when you going down, off, up and through there. You get it? So, like, for instance, like, you could be having a bad day. Your day could be going bad. I'm not playing. You could have a bad day popping off, and guess what? Whoever brought that little baby over here, that newborn baby, guess what's going to happen? Everybody that look at that baby is going to find a reason to smile. That's the first thing you do when you look at that newborn baby. Look, hey, look, the majority of the people, not all, but the majority of the people that look at a newborn baby, okay, the energy from that baby is so high because they coming from a place that's full of high vibrations. They vibration about to get lowered by coming back here, okay? But when they get here, the energy about that baby is what makes you smile. It makes you feel good. That's why I say you got to protect that young energy, the youngest energy that's in that house, the kids. You got to protect that energy because by default, their energy can offset your grief. It can offset your grief, but you gotta be paying attention, man. You can't keep yourself stuck in a moment of grief and expect to feel this stuff right here, man. You can't expect that right there because that energy won't allow you to climb up high enough for you to feel it. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm working on right now. I'm still working on that myself. I'm telling y'all, but I'm still working on that myself. A lot of this stuff right here that I'm telling you, I'm no expert in this. I am not no expert in this. I'm just telling you what come to me. And this right here is the reason why I don't do daily videos like I plan on doing. I be planning on doing daily videos, but I can't do daily videos because the spirit don't come to me to talk daily. You know what I'm saying? So when y'all see me on live and stuff like that, that means that something came to me for me to talk and speak this stuff right here to y'all, because in many cases, I don't speak this stuff right here. You know what I'm saying? Not by myself. It's stuff. And so, like I said, going back to paying attention to what's going on, man, I pay attention to my daughter. And I noticed that she gained a lot of weight. She was nowhere near where she was now. You know what I'm saying? Before this stuff happened, she was nowhere near it at all. You know, and you have to pay attention to it, and you're gonna pay attention to that right there silently. You know what I'm saying? Silently, you're going to pay attention to this right here stuff because you still observing everything. You looking at every single thing around you. You understand what I'm telling you? You looking at every single thing around you, man. I'm telling you, if you pay attention to that energy and what's going on inside you and the stuff that's going on around you, hopefully you won't have time enough to think about your child, man. Because we was just sitting up there talking about this boy last night. And you know, when you talk about it, man, that stuff could really bring you down. I ain't playing. I'm not talking about down like I'm talking about it could, you know, it does something to you, man. Listen, just flat out, it does something to you, man. I'm telling you. But I'm the only one that really speak about this stuff right here because I ain't gonna cut no corners with you, man. I'm still sick behind that. I am sick behind that right there. I'm still sick behind it. And, you know, the fact that I can't even really express myself. I express myself more. I ain't gonna lie. I express myself more talking to y'all than I do to anybody else. And that includes his mother. You know what I'm saying? We don't even speak about this at all to each other. I speak more to y'all than I do in my own household. And that right there is the honest to God truth. That's the honest to God truth, man. I'm more comfortable speaking with this stuff with y'all than I am at home. And that right there is an energy right there as well. That's because of energy purposes. It's energetic purposes why that right there take place. You know? Again, I understand why people don't talk about this stuff, man. This shit is painful. It's painful to talk about this kind of stuff, man. And then, especially, you know, if you're talking to somebody that really don't grab it, you know what I'm saying? Or you talking to somebody, you can pay attention to their body language and stuff like that when they talking, and like some of that stuff, it'll throw your process off. It'll throw your mindset off. It'll throw everything off, man. If you and so I get on here, don't nobody talk back. You get it? Don't nobody say nothing back. I don't have to worry about that over here. You see what I'm saying? But I'm gonna let y'all know, man, it's still tight, man. Next month is my son's birthday. And I didn't handle that too good last year. That's why, for me, I know the hurdle ain't over with. For some, the hurdle might be over with once you cross the new year. The little date that says New Year. That right there might be, you know, a final hurdle for you, but that ain't the final hurdle for me. I got his birthday to go through next month. Okay? And last year, like I said, I didn't take that right there too well. I could hear this boy when it's different people. Let's say somebody come over, his aunties or somebody. I can still hear this boy around the house saying, "Hey auntie this," or "Hey uncle this," and this, that, and the other. And I can hear it so clearly that, you know, it damn near bring tears to your eyes. You gotta hold that right there in too. You gotta hold that in too. You know what I'm saying? That's something that this shit that you gotta live with, man. It's tight, man. Shit is tight. Shit is tight. So you gotta find something to do. I'm about to work out. I'm about to find something to do. You know what I'm saying? That should be tight, man. I woke up this morning feeling like this right here. Feeling like crap. For real. Just feeling like crap. Like I said, I've been trying to hold it together, man. I ain't no expert at this stuff yet. I'm still working with it. I'm not no expert at this shit yet. You know, it should just be tight to you know, talk about, man. It should be tight to go through. And why do you do it? Why do I do it? Just to get it off my chest. I do this right here to get it off my chest. That's why I do it. And help other people, man, that's going through this right here. Especially you first time goers. This right here, your first time, man. I get it. I get it. I'm telling you, man, this right here is some tight stuff. It's some tight stuff. Tight. So I am oh, man. I gotta get up off of this right here, y'all. I gotta get up off this. I'm in my destination right now, man. I'm gonna have to get up off this right here though, man. Cause I'm not feeling too well. I'm not feeling too well, but I knew this right here would happen. I knew this right here would come. I knew it would happen. But this right here is what it looked like, man. It ain't no playground. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It ain't nothing to play with. You know, it's definitely not nothing to play with. It's very tight, and it can get emotional. And again, I'm gonna touch on this right here again. Like I said, as far as the men go, because men are not allowed to show these kind of emotions. Men are not allowed to talk about stuff that might seem soft and all this other stuff. Men get looked at a certain way for speaking the way that I speak, and I just don't give a damn. If you don't like what I got to say, to hell with you. You see what I'm saying? Cause I'm just like his mama. I'm hurt about my son. I ain't nah. And this shit flip flops. It flip flops. It go from anger to hurt to anger and right back and forth. It keep on doing the same thing. You go back and you start having these mental flashbacks and all this other stuff. How this shit right here could have been prevented and how this stuff right here happened. You get flashbacks of the dude that's responsible for this shit. You know what I'm saying? And it just bring you, I'm telling you, it take a lot to really hold that stuff back, okay? It's a lot of pressure that don't nobody else feel. It's a lot of pressure that you go through that you cannot even explain to certain people. You can't explain some of this pressure and pain to certain people. You go between, like I said, you go between the pain, you go between the suffering, you go between the happiness, you go between the memories, you go between everything, man. This shit flip-flops. It comes and goes on you, you know what I'm saying? And certain people, for real, they don't understand how this right here stuff works for you. That's why when people say, hey, I understand what you're going through and stuff like that. And like I said, I would ask them, shit, did you lose a child? Okay. Then you don't know what I'm going through. Okay. Did you, if somebody like people have lost parents, man, people have lost parents, and me losing a child, even with me losing a child, you know, if somebody lost a parent or something like that, you know, for me to sit up there and say that, hey, I know what you're going through because I lost a child. No, I don't know what you're going through. You lost a parent. I don't know what you're going through because mine's still here. You see what I'm saying? You lose a parent. Listen, the more people, this is what I learned, for real. I swear to God, this is what I learned. That for these people that lost a parent, they don't care. And the people that have lost a child, they don't care no more either. Now you put both of those right there together, okay? And both of these, you done lost both child and mother. Man, please, you ain't got no feelings for nobody, baby. You don't give a damn about nobody. You don't give a damn about no. If it wasn't one thing, you lost your mama or your dad or something like that, dude. You turned around and lost a child behind that, on top of that right there, man, you don't give a fuck about nobody in this world. You don't care about nobody in this world, and I'm telling you, it's gonna show. It's definitely gonna show. You don't care about nobody in this world at that point. You know what I'm, at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because can't nothing bring these people back. Ain't nothing nobody can say to make you feel better. Nothing nobody else can do to soothe that pain and stuff like that. And you was probably still trying to get over your parent that you lost. You was probably still trying to get over them. And then you turn around and lose a child in the process. Now you got to deal with that. And I don't know how that right there work. I don't know if you losing a child in that process supersedes you losing your parent. I don't know how that worked. You know what I'm saying? But different people, it hit people differently. It hit people differently. And you would know. You would know because that person that done lost them both, they ain't got shit to give nobody else internally. Internally, they ain't got nothing to give nobody, dog. For real. They ain't got nothing to give nobody. Because they don't have it within themselves. They don't have it themselves in them. You see what I'm saying? They still feeling that. I got siblings right now that still feeling the pain from my son passing. They nephew. They appetites and all that stuff still off. It's still off. They sleeping. It's still off, man. Everything is off. You know? That's tough. You know what I'm saying? That's tough to to have to that's tough to have to, live through. It is. And don't nobody understand that until you go through it. Yep. Until you go through it, that's when you gonna understand. You ain't gonna understand it no other way. You can't explain this stuff into understanding. Okay? You can't. It's like somebody that lost their mother, especially if they was really close to their mother. In a lot of cases, many are more closer to their mother than their father. And that right there is a tough ass blow. It gots to be a tough ass blow to lose your mother. And then turn around and lose your child. Can't nobody tell you shit. For real. Ain't nobody tell you nothing. So, to offset some of that grief and stuff like that, if you want to let it out, that's one way that you can offset some of it. You just let that stuff out. But for me, like I said, I just find different stuff to do, and I stay away from a lot of that music, a lot of R&B or old school that I used to listen to that was real slow and stuff like that. At times I stay away from that stuff, man. That was the best music to listen to, but I stay away from that stuff. I try to stay away from it because it brings back too many memories, man. And then, like I said, I thought about this right here this morning. I said, man, come this January, my son would have been 9 years old. It was stuff that I didn't even get a chance to do with him. I didn't get a chance to show him how to bowl like I thought it was. Like, me and him, like, I had plans. I had plans, man. I had plans. And that right there is gone. And to the fact that, see, it ain't like it's gone and, you can wait a little bit and then it'll come back and all this other stuff. It don't work like that. And yeah, I speak about your child still being with you and everything. Yeah, I still speak about that as well. But the reason why that right there don't hit the same is because you still working on getting used to having to see your child in that form. You know what I'm saying? You still getting used to trying to get comfortable with seeing your child in that form. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the way you got to do it from here on out. That's just the way you got to do it. That's just the way you got to do it from here on out. That's just the way it is. You understand? From the time that you lost your child until the end of your life, until y'all meet again, for real, on the other side, this is the way that you're going to have to get in touch with your child. This is the way that you're going to have to visit your child. This right here is the way you're going to have to see your child. This is the way you have to communicate with your child. This way, you know what I'm saying? Like that. You know what I'm saying? That's how you going, that's just the bottom line to it. And once that right there sink into you, once you get that right there through your mind, once you actually get it, man, once you get that right there, you can start working toward, doing something a little better. You know what I'm saying? You can start working toward, your recovery. You know what I'm saying? And even in your recovery, you still gonna have some setbacks. So don't worry about that. Listen, just because you have a breakdown, that right there doesn't necessarily mean that it's a setback, okay? You're not necessarily getting setback, man. Some of this stuff you just cleansing out, because when you let that stuff out, you letting out some of that old shit in you too now. And when you got to clean yourself out, you got to do the work. You're going to have to cleanse yourself out, man. I'm trying to tell you, when you cleanse yourself out, it's not going to feel good. I'm telling you, this stuff is not going to feel good at all. At all. At all. And that right there is what I believe a lot of us run from. So you stick in your grief and all this other stuff. Sometimes to get up out of that right there, a lot of times you have to acknowledge your progress. You're going to progress at some point in time where you couldn't look at a picture, and now you can look at a picture. Acknowledge that as progress. You know what I'm saying? At times when you used to think that you, or you know that you heard your child and it just brought you down, now it don't bring you down no more. That right there is progress. The stuff that used to make you angry when you used to listen to certain things or hear certain things, if it don't touch you like it used to, then that right there is progress. And you got to recognize every single moment of that. Because like I told you, I said it once, I said it before, and I said it 1,000 more times if I have to. This is not a day-by-day process. This right here is a moment by moment. I'm a year and some change in, and it's still a moment by moment for me. I don't care how it look, okay? I don't care how it look on the outside. In the inside, for me, it's a moment by moment. I'm telling you what it is. And I'm not telling you about something that somebody else told me. I'm telling you about the way I feel. I don't know if everybody else might feel the same way. That's the reason why I always, when I say you, I mean me. I'm always talking about me because it worked different. Like I said, the stuff that I be saying is not a one size fit all. This ain't no one size fit all deal, okay? So when I say you, I'm talking about me. But if you feel it and you know that it fits you, then I could be talking to you too. And again, this right here is the reason why I do this right here. But I'm telling you, man, it's tight. It's tight. It get tight. You know what I mean? I had a dream about this boy this morning. And see, that's the thing. With me knowing what I'm knowing, I'm still calling this stuff dreams. You know what I'm saying? Like that's on the physical realm. It's a dream. I was with him this morning. And not only was I with him, shoot, I was with my mama. I was with my sister. Now these people are still alive. You see what I'm saying? You got to pay attention and see what that right there means. You know what I'm saying? And you can't do it with a cloudy mind. You can't do it with a cloudy mindset, man. That right there stuff have to be changed, dude. That stuff have to be changed, and you're going to do it. You're going to do the work, or you're going to stay down here boiled up and balled up in grief. I didn't want to be in that lane. I don't want to be in that lane. It's another year coming in, and I don't want to bring in a new year like that. But as soon as the new year come in, 20 days later, here come my son's birthday. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking, damn, you had been 9 years old, man. 9 years old. Now, he was 7 when he passed, but around the time where he passed that, it was so close to his birthday, he was about in, let me see, November, 2 months from the time he passed, he was about to turn 8. He was only 2 months away from his birthday. So, even though he passed at 7, and this right here is 1 year later, he's about to be 9 this year. So it looked like 2 years, but it's not. It's only 1 year. And like I said, I wasn't no good on his birthday last year, man. I'm telling you, I don't care what nobody say. I advocated the hardest for my child. For real. And with me advocating the hardest for my child, I only had to depend on my energy. When I really started to pay attention, I was depending on my energy. I didn't have nobody sitting back here helping me, you know, advocate for this boy. Because in many cases, a lot of people didn't even know how that right there worked. They didn't know that system. So it was stuff that they probably couldn't assist me with in that right there respect. But emotionally, mentally, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have that backup. I didn't. And now I'm talking about inside the house and outside the house. I was doing this purely 100% off the energy that Jerome had. I was running all that right there by myself. I was the one making the phone calls. I was the one getting on here talking, making viral videos. I was talking to the news. I was going back and forth with the prosecutors. I'm talking about I fought tooth and nail. And it was solely off my energy. And at that time, I didn't even know that I even had energy to do that. I ain't know where none of this energy was coming from. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? I didn't understand where this energy was coming from. It was just coming. And by the time that court case was over with, it was like, man, I just felt like a loser. For real. Because for what I was fighting for at the time, and because the people that was fighting for me, it like they wasn't fighting for me. They were fighting for themselves. And so it just felt like failure. Not right now. Who is this? I don't know who that is. You know, it just felt like failure. It just felt like failure to me, for real. I mean, did the best you can, throw the best, you know, throw some of the best punches that you have, and, you know, you just feel defeated. You know what I'm saying? If you lost, it feel like I lost both ways. I lost in the system, and I lost my child. You know, I lost all the way around. It felt like I lost all the way around. And if you're not careful, you'll lose more than that. You'll lose your goddamn family. Yeah. You'll lose your family. Because I'm going to tell you something. This is what some people don't talk about. Let me tell you something. Depending on the nature of your relationship with certain people, it don't matter who it is. Depending on who your relationship is with certain people, when you lose your child, that right there is going to amplify whatever it was that y'all had going on. And because don't nobody care, that right there gonna flow this way into wherever it flowed into. I'm telling you, through experience, I'm telling you, whatever it was that you was going through with any relationship, I don't care who it was. Whatever was going on, when you lose your child, it's going to amplify that. Okay? If you didn't have a good relationship with your parents, guess what? Lose your child, it's going to amplify it. If you didn't have a good relationship with the person that you sleep next to, guess what? It's going to amplify that right there, baby. Man, it done been so many people. It done been so many people that after losing a child, they went their own separate ways. The child was the only thing holding them together. Some of them knew that. Some of them probably didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, hold on one second.
I was about to go.
Oh.
Yeah, I was saying you good.
I'm waiting on your brother.
Oh, I was going
Okay. And so, yeah, you can get lost in the sauce, baby. You can get lost in the sauce with this right here. You lose a child, man, that stuff break up relationships of all kind. You don't just break up your internal relationship, but it will run a course on it. I swear to God. Hey, lose a child and you and the person that you sleep next to ain't on the same page, and see how far that get. You know? See how far that get. You know, somebody gonna have to hold tight, because if ain't nobody holding tight, then that right there is just gonna dissolve. That is going to dissolve. You know what I'm saying? And that right there is when you lose a child collectively. You know what I'm saying? Now just imagine if one of them lost a child and it wasn't y'all child together. See, now one person is feeling pain that the other person can't feel. But when you lose a child collectively, both of y'all feel the same pain collectively. It might be in different degrees of pain, but y'all feel the same pain ultimately. And you would think that y'all would be Bonnie and Clyde throughout the world. That's not how that works sometimes. That's not how that works. When you lost your child, that right there could have been the end of your relationship right there. And I'm just being honest with you, because don't nobody say nothing about that part right there. Don't nobody say nothing about that part, because you stopped trying and that other person stopped trying too. You let go. What Lauryn Hill said, you let go and I let go too. That happens. I can see it happening. I'm telling you, that right there breaks down more than just, when you lose your child, it breaks down more than just, you know, connections with different people. It breaks down a whole lot. You getting back into your spirituality and stuff like that. That right there, it makes you see things for what it is, not what it's supposed to be. Again, what did Dick Gregory say? What Dick Gregory say? He say, when the universe choose you and you put on the magic glasses, there's rules that come with that, with putting on those glasses. One, you see things as they are, not how they're supposed to be. Two, you can't force nobody else to wear them. And three, once you wear them, you can't take them off. You can't unsee this stuff no more. And it's going to cause you to have to do a lot of internal work on yourself. And you're going to know about it. The people that's doing this internal work, you're going to know about it. You're going to see it because by default, you're going to see how they moving. That's the first thing you see about a person is how they move. You know what I'm saying? That's why in some cases, that's why some of these people was around you anyway, around the time when this stuff right here was happening, because they want to see how you was going to move. How you gonna handle this stuff? You know what I'm saying? You such a strong person, and I want to see what you gonna do. How you know? Yeah, I'm telling you. And when you connect it, it's gonna tell you that. It's going to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it was just certain things that fell off, certain conversations I don't have anymore. Once you get into a heightened level of spirituality, like that, like I said, it don't mean that you forget where you were from before. You just know a lot more that you wasn't paying attention to. And with that right there being said, it's just gonna be some stuff that's just gonna fall off by default, not something that you're doing. So you don't hate nobody. Let's get that straight right now. You're not mad at nobody. You don't hate nobody. You don't do, you know what I'm saying? It ain't none of that. It ain't got nothing to do with none of that. Now watch this right here. Because you work on yourself and you fall back, right? The people that you're no longer talking to like you used to, the people that you don't communicate with you no longer like you used to, pay attention to how they respond to you now. And then that right there is going to tell you how they feel. It's going to show you their energy. It's going to show you what they felt about you the whole time because you ain't said nothing. They're going to expose themselves. And when you see this right here, don't write it off. Because this right here is part of your process too. It's part of your healing process as well. The people that's gonna fall off after this stuff happen is gonna be mind blowing. It's gonna be mind blowing. I'm not playing. My house ain't filled up like it used to be no more. There's people that don't even want to come over my house no more because the energy that's in that house, you know, with time you hit the door. And I know it. I'm just speaking on it. Some people won't speak on it. I just speak on it. You know what I'm saying? I talk too much. That's my problem. I talk too much. You know what I'm saying? That's my problem. I don't know when to shut up. I call a spade a spade. So because I call a spade, hey, I talk too much. That's why some people don't too much agree with what I say, because I talk too much. They don't like the tone of my voice because I talk too much. Oh well. I'm telling you, man, this right here, stuff right here, it ain't nothing to play with, man. I'm telling you, if you don't let it out, you could hurt yourself. I'm telling you, you could hurt yourself. I had chest pains, tight chest pains too, Jack, that I ain't said nothing to nobody about. Man, that's one of the main reasons, for real. That's one of the main reasons I had to fall back, because I used to smoke a lot. I had to fall back. I'm not even gonna lie, because to be honest with you, it wasn't just because I wanted to. It wasn't just because of that right there. It was because of the grief and the chest pains and all that stuff that came with it. I had to let something go. Something I had to let go. You know what I'm saying? And so I had already kind of like fell back off the alcohol tip. You know what I mean? And I still get my sip on. Don't get it twisted. But from where I was before, I'm talking about fifth after fifth and, you know, pint after pint and coming through. You got Remy here, 17 there, tequila there. You know what I'm saying? Like that right there version of that's gone. I still, like I said, I still get my sip on now. But I do that right there and a lot more. It's more moderate now. Like for real. Because you got to be careful. You don't want to drink too much to where you drink too much, you will put yourself in a place to where your spirit is wide open and it allow other stuff to come in that you didn't invite in. And because you so out of it, you can't stop it. You ain't going to be able to stop it. And it's going to get in there and it's going to rip you apart. That spirit going to get in there and rip you apart. That right there is the reason why I didn't drink. That's the reason why I stopped drinking like I did. For real. Because that right there I know what that right there feel like, and it don't feel good either. You let this stuff get a hold of you, I'm telling you, this right here stuff will make you, it'll make you off yourself. That's something that I didn't tell y'all. I swear to God, this shit will make you want to off yourself. You ain't got nothing else to, it make you feel like you ain't got nothing else to lose up until you look at your other kids that you got. You know what I'm saying? It make you want to off yourself until you pay attention to your other kids that you got and understand that, you know, that this process is bigger than you. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than you. You know what I'm saying? Stuff is bigger than you. And then now that you seen that this stuff happened with one of your kids, the fact that you got other kids, this right here stuff can strike at any time and you don't know about it, man, that shit keep you on edge. It'll keep you on edge. This can happen at any time to anybody, to anyone, no matter your age. That's what it showed me. It don't matter your age, nothing, because like I said, once again, listen, I heard of this stuff happening to other people. Nobody never said it'll happen to me. I didn't believe it could happen to me. I really didn't. I did not believe that this shit could happen to me until it happened. Every time I thought about it happening, I tried to get my mind away from it happening. Every time I heard this phone call coming in that I got just the way I got it, man, I tried to think it away every single time. It did not work. It did not work. Came back stronger. Came back way stronger until eventually it happened. Don't nobody know what you're going through for real. Don't nobody know what you're going through for real. And I'm telling you, it stings. This shit sting. It stings. It stings. This whole time I've been talking to y'all, real talk. I'm not even gonna lie. This whole time I've been talking to y'all. I don't know how that look on the outside, but I've been holding back my tears the whole time. I've been talking to y'all today. Yep. And this right here, like I said, this right here is why people don't like talking about this stuff, because it get too painful at times. You know, it get painful. I promise you. It get painful at times. It get very, 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 very painful at times. And I'm telling you, it throw you through an emotional abyss. And you don't want to go down that. You don't want to go down that path. You don't, because it's too hard to climb up out of. But around this time right here, for the people that's going through this right here, like I said, if you can let this stuff out, you get on out there and you let this stuff out around this time, I understand, hey, completely. Like, normally, I try to tell y'all to work through this, you know, try to work through it, as, you know, if you can, and be strong enough to see the play. You know what I'm saying? But if this right here your first time, you ain't trying to hear none of this stuff that I'm talking about. Ain't none of this stuff that I'm talking about right now. If this right here your first time going through it, in many cases, this stuff is going through one ear and right out the other. Ain't no different than nobody coming up to you talking about some Jesus this and the Lord that and all that other stuff. If this your first time going through this right here, it's a very good chance that the stuff that I'm saying right now is not hitting you right now, because you're not in that space right now, and totally understand that. Because could nobody come to me in my first year and talk to me the way I'm talking to y'all right now, I wasn't hearing none of this stuff, man. I wasn't hearing none of it. Don't come to me talking to me about nothing if you ain't trying to bring my child back. If you ain't got the ability to do that, I'm not trying to hear nothing. Let me grieve. You know what I'm saying? Let me be sad for a minute. Let me get this shit up out my system for a minute. That's where I was. So for the ones that can't hear me because this right here is your first year going through this right here, I understand completely. You know what I'm saying? Period. I understand. I'm not mad at that at all, because, and this is the reason why I tell people that, for the ones that say that I understand, no, you don't understand. The reason why I understand is because I went through it. That's the reason why I'm able to tell these people that cannot hear me right now, that's going through it right now. For these ones that cannot hear me, this right here is the reason why I tell those people. You know what I'm saying? I understand. This is the reason why I tell those people you got to go through what I had to go through in order to understand. You ain't going to do it no other way. You know what I'm saying? That's just flat out. It's not going to happen no other way. You know, you got to do what's best for you. You got to do what you see fit for you, not for everybody else. And people used to come up to me and say, man, don't let nobody tell you how to think. Don't let nobody tell you this. And I was wondering why people would say that. I didn't know at the time. This is my first time going through it. I didn't know at the time that people would try to project what they think that you should do to come over your grief. And it's mainly the ones that ain't lost nothing. It's mainly the ones that ain't lost nothing. If you have not lost a child, you are not qualified to speak on this. Just like I'm not qualified to speak on the loss of a parent, because I still got my parents, both of my parents. Okay. So I'm not qualified to talk about the loss of a mother. I'm not qualified to talk about the loss of a father. Okay. I'm only qualified to talk about the loss of my child. And people got to understand that. And you got to understand that too. So people don't come throwing their projections off on you, making you feel some type of way. And you already going through stuff. I'm telling you, you be going through stuff and people will say some of the meanest stuff to you. That includes your parents. Oh yeah, one of my parents say some of the meanest stuff to me. I ain't gonna say which one, but one of my parents, man, will say some of the meanest stuff and don't even know that they doing it, or know that they doing it, and just don't give a damn. And guess what that's gonna do? It's gonna cause you to separate from your parents. Don't think just because your parents have this title of being your parent that you just have to accept the BS that come with it, because they don't understand either. They ain't lost no child either. They haven't. They haven't. They don't know nothing. When it come down to you losing your child, they don't know nothing. They don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it. They could say all day. They could say until they purple in the face that they get it. They don't. They don't. You will be more mindful of what you say to your child if you actually got it. You will be more mindful of how your child is feeling when you get it. You see what I'm saying? There's certain things that you're going to do. There's certain ways you're going to behave. There's certain ways certain things you're going to say. Everything will change if you actually got it, but you don't get it. You don't. And I'm not saying that as a parent that's not a hurting thing to not know how to help your child, but that's just the way it rolls. Sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumble, baby. The cookie crumbles that way sometimes. And so here you is left to deal with this right here by yourself. You're going to deal with it by yourself. When I say by yourself, I'm not talking about physically by yourself, like people not coming through. I'm talking about internally. No matter how many people on the outside come through internally, hey, you're going through this right here by yourself, okay? And not only that right there, if you're really paying attention, like I said this right here before, it was times where I was paying attention so deep that could nothing get through to me, okay? I told you, listen, I got a sound system in my truck, man, that I done put thousands into, okay? And it sound pretty decent. And at that time, when I lost my son, it wasn't the perfect song I could listen to. I didn't want to listen to no rap. I didn't want to listen to nothing. The music, as loud as I tried to play it to drown this out, this up here was still louder than any music I could play on the outside. And I was listening to my best sound system. And I could not shake it. It wouldn't shake. I couldn't shake it. So something up here is going to be trying to talk to you, and it's going to talk to you louder. Even in the silence, you're going to hear this right here louder than anything else. I don't care what you play. I don't care who come around you. I don't care who talking to you. In many cases, when people talking to you anyway, that stuff is going through one ear and out the other anyway. You just quiet and you letting them talk. You quiet and you letting them talk. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be rude. You don't want to be rude, but you quiet and you just letting them talk. But that stuff is going through one ear and out the other. You ain't feeling me. You not feeling me. But, like I said, man, y'all just be careful. It's not over with yet. We still got a little bit more of this right here year to go. Christmas might not have been the biggest hurdle for some of us. Thanksgiving was a big hurdle for some people. New Year's is a big hurdle for some people. And then check this out. It's some people, believe it or not, listen, it's some people that done lost their child just moments before the holidays. Just moments. I'm talking about days, weeks before the holidays, man. That right there stings. I had an auntie that lost her child December 20th, 2008. That's 5 days before Christmas. And you know what? Couldn't nobody in my family help her. Nobody in my family understood what she was going through. None of her sisters understood. Maybe her brothers may have understood, for the ones that were still around, if they lost a child. But in terms of her siblings, she was in it by herself, and nobody could feel what she was going through. Okay. And because of her way of living at that time, it was easy for people to write her feelings off as her being in her way of living, to say it nicely. You know what I'm saying? Nobody understood what she was going through, and that included myself. I didn't know what she was going through. I knew it felt terrible. You know, my sister, she felt her energy. It was terrible. You see what I'm saying? But none of her siblings understood that. And guess what? My auntie went through that by herself. I watched her go through that by herself. And because she was going through that right there by herself, you know, for her, what she reverted to was what she always reverted to. She started drinking. And she almost took herself out for that. You had to get her some help. And this right here went on for a very long time, before we figured out that she really needed some help. And I had a hand in that right there, because I was seeing a play. And after so long, I just had to step in there and get others involved. My auntie has recovered. She has recovered. You know, she has recovered. She recovered in a good way. It took her a couple years to get herself together, but she has recovered. And you know what? That's the only auntie that can call me right now. She calls me often. She calls me often because you know what? She understands. She get it. She get it. And she called me often to talk to me about it, because she remembered how she felt when she was going through what she was going through. You know what I mean? She know how she felt when she was going through what she was going through. She remembered that it wasn't no help there for her. You know what I'm saying? For, you know, in terms of her family, you know, we were there initially. Yeah, but in terms of like the ongoing and stuff like that, she was going through that by herself. And I know she was. Ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing different. Can't nobody in my family tell me nothing different. And then to confirm that, I could confirm that with what I'm going through, because guess what? She lost her son too. You know? She lost her son too. And she lost her son in a worse way. She lost her son to the streets. You understand? That hurts when somebody do that right there to your child. I lost my child in a traffic wreck. I'm not gonna say no accident. That wasn't no accident, fool. When you blowing through lights and you riding at top speed and you actively drinking with a bottle to your neck. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing that stopped you was a 7-year-old boy inside a van. That wasn't no accident. So I don't like to even call that no accident. It was a car wreck. I don't like to call it no accident. It wasn't no accident. That was done on purpose. And when you see that somebody did that to your child on purpose, that takes your ass out the game. When somebody do this right here to your child on purpose, for absolutely nothing. For nothing. You know what I'm saying? The loss of your child for absolutely nothing, dog. It fucks you up. Fuck you up, man. For real. Fuck you up. Hey, man, listen. I'm gonna get with y'all later on, man. Hey Uncle Roni on YouTube. Go on YouTube, Hey Uncle Roni. I got previous videos that I did talking about this stuff right here. I had a lot of shorts on there where I talk about this right here, stuff right here. You know, in my earlier, into my earlier days when I was dealing with this stuff right here, you know, going to my earlier days. You can go back and look at, sometimes I go back and look at it too, just to see if I progressed any. Because that's what I got to do. I can't see the progress in myself at times. I will have to go back and listen to some of the stuff that I said in some of my prior videos. You know what I'm saying? To see the progress, so I can see if I'm progressing or not. Because even though it might, you know, it sound like it from the outside looking in, it don't feel that way from the inside coming out. That's why I said it's a moment by moment thing, and you got to acknowledge the little progress that you will do, the little progress that you will see. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to acknowledge that, you know, so you don't start feeling like this right here. Because I'm telling you, listen, that little energy that I was telling y'all about, that's still right here, right now. I'm telling y'all, if y'all want, this right here is the way it look. This is the way it look. Okay. This is the way it look. And that energy right now is still in me. That energy of grief is in me right now as we speak. And this is part of how it looks. If you ever wanted to see how that look, and I'm telling you, it's not. Listen. Hey Uncle Roni on YouTube, Roni84_ on TikTok, okay? Do me a favor, y'all. For y'all that's looking at this video, give me some thumbs up on this video right here. Please do it for me right now. Give me some thumbs up, give me some hearts. Share the video to somebody that y'all think this right here can help. Please do that, because I'm trying to help people so people don't go through as much as I had to go through. I couldn't find no help nowhere. And I just started doing this stuff myself because it wasn't nowhere where I could really look at for help like this right here. You know what I'm saying? Share this video. Go check me out on my other platforms, because pretty much what I do is I take this video and break it up and I put it on other platforms. So if you're looking at this video now, then you already done seen it. Okay? But help me get this right here word out, man. Help me get this algorithm up. It took me a long time to be able to talk about this stuff without feeling some type of way in the inside. This is the reason why when I do my videos and stuff like that, I do them in my van. I do them separately from my family and everything else, because I can get my flow. I can catch my flow a lot better. A lot better. You know what I'm saying? Without the interruptions of somebody walking upstairs at the time, without somebody coming in and yelling through my lives and stuff like that. You know, I operate, I get it, you know, a little better. That's the reason why I do these right here by myself in my car, or, you know, sectioned off alone. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you get a better flow. Okay. So I'm about to get up out of here, man, so I can go ahead and start doing what I had set myself out to do today. I got up early enough to be able to take care of this right here. And I'm about to go ahead and run with it, okay? So y'all have yourself a blessed day, and I will get with y'all later on.